So today we should talk about safety when handling the black soldier fly. What are some of the safety measures we need to put in place while handling these black soldier fly larvae? Now, the first measure we need to put in place is that we need to know that we are dealing with insects, or we are dealing with animals in the insecta family. So how do we handle these insects? These animals or these insects should be handled with care. When I'm talking about care, it means we need to give them food, we need to give them water if they need. In general, we need to take care of them, and we need to give them proper housing. So apart from those, now when it comes to the housing, the temperature conditions for the BSF do survive under moderate temperatures of around 20 degrees to 25 degrees. In other words, they require warm temperatures. They don't require hot, neither do they require cold temperatures, but they require warm temperatures. Now, apart from temperature, the humidity should be moderate. The amount of moisture should be very low, not high, not moderate. It should have somehow low moisture content. The reason why they require moisture is for them to facilitate the easy decomposition and even the easy feeding process to the organic waste provided to them. Now, the next thing that the BSFs require for them to survive may be the ventilations in the room. So the room should have free air circulation. Those are the number one safety when it comes to the housing. And now number two safety comes when it comes to feeding. Since the BSFs don't take in plastic waste and metals, so we make sure that we get rid of all these contents in their feeds. In other words, we ensure that we feed them with purely organic waste. Anything non-organic or inorganic, no. So we just feed them with pure organic waste. Now, this will help them to decompose the feed easily. Another thing we need to observe that during the feeding process, we need to chop the feed into very tiny into fine pieces whereby they can easily be decomposed. Remember, when we leave the feed into very big pieces, it might take long time for them to be completely decomposed by these black soldier flies. So if we divide them into very small portions, if we shred them, then the BSS will be able to absorb them, to feed on them very quickly. Then they'll be absorbed very easier in the blood, in their digestive system. Now, when it comes to safety when handling this BSF, generally you need to put on gloves as a human being when handling them if you fear direct contact with the insects. So you put on gloves on your hands, and then you need a lab coat like this one, or you need an apron. Apart from the lab coat, you need to put on gum boots, because remember, you are interacting with different varieties of organic feeds. These organic feeds might contain bacteria and fungi, which might be harmful to your body. So you need to take into consideration that you need to put on gloves and gumboots and an apron, so that you reduce the chances of these microorganisms coming into contact with your body, since they might harm you and you are aware of that. And then you also require you can put on goggles, though not necessarily. That one is now just like a minor issue. Yeah. And then when observing the larvae, what you need to do, you need to be turning the feeds regularly for the BSFs to decompose them completely. Regular turning of the feeds facilitates easier decomposition and easier feeding by the BSF. You also need to observe some hygienic conditions, whereby at the entrance of the BSF unit you put a water bath, whereby someone steps on the water bath before entering into the BSF housing unit. Yeah, apart from that one, maybe generally on the structure, I think the structures I had said should be well ventilated with the good humidity regulations and temperature regulations, and you make sure that the roof is well thatched so that it prevents leaking of water into the BSF unit. I think that is what I can talk about the BSF safety. For more information, contact +2547 1671 9143. It's your one and only CSA Climate, Rakava Martin.